Hi, my name is Norma Contreras, and this is my presentation. We have all thought about those big questions of life. Questions like, why are we here? What is my purpose? What are my dreams? Sometimes people think they have the answers nailed down, but then circumstances change, and years later, they have forgotten their dreams. Keep this in mind as we experience The Tale of Three Trees by Angela E. Hunt. Once upon a mountain top, three little trees stood and dreamed of what they wanted to become when they grew up. The first little tree looked up at the stars, twinkling like diamonds above him. I want to hold treasure. I want to be covered with gold and filled with precious stones. I will be the most beautiful treasure chest in the world. The second little tree looked out at the small stream trickling by on its way to the ocean. I want to be a strong sailing ship. I want to travel mighty waters and carry powerful kings. I will be the strongest ship in the world. The third little tree looked down into the valley below, where busy men and busy women worked in a busy town. I don't want to leave this mountaintop at all. I want to grow so tall that when people stop and look at me, they will raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world. Years passed, and the little trees grew tall. One day, three woodcutters climbed the mountain. The first woodcutter looked at the first tree and said, "It's perfect for me." So with a swing of his axe, the first tree fell. Now I shall be made into a beautiful chest. I shall hold wonderful treasures. The second woodcutter looked at the second tree. This tree is strong. It's perfect for me. So with a swing of his axe, the second tree fell. Now I shall sail mighty waters. I shall be a strong ship fit for kings. The third tree felt her heart sink when the last woodcutter looked her way. She stood straight and tall and pointed bravely to heaven. But the woodcutter never even looked up. Any kind of tree will do for me. And with the swing of his axe, the third tree fell. The first tree rejoiced when the woodcutter brought him to a carpenter's shop. But the busy carpenter was not thinking about the treasure chest. Instead, his worn hands fashioned the tree into a feed box for animals. The once beautiful tree was not covered with gold or filled with treasure. He was covered with sawdust and filled with hay for hungry farm animals. The second tree smiled when the woodcutter took him to the shipyard, but no mighty sailing ships were being made that day. Instead, the once strong tree was hammered and sawed into a simple fishing boat, too small and too weak to sail an ocean or mighty river. He was taken to a lake. Every day he brought in loads of dead, smelling fish. The third tree was confused when the woodcutter cut her into strong beams and left her in the lumber yard. What happened? All I ever wanted to do was stay on the mountaintop and point to God. Many, many days and nights passed. The three trees nearly forgot their dreams. But one night, bright star poured over the first tree as the young woman placed her newborn baby in the box. Suddenly, the first tree knew he was holding the greatest treasure in the world. One evening, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into the old fishing boat. The traveler fell asleep as the second tree quietly sailed out into the lake. Soon a thundering and thrashing storm arose. The little tree shuddered. He knew he did not have the strength to carry so many passengers safely through the wind and the rain. The tired man woke up. He stood up, stretched out his hand, and said, "Peace." The storm stopped as quickly as it had begun, and suddenly the second tree knew he was carrying the King of heaven and earth. One Friday morning, the third tree was startled when her beams were yanked from the forgotten wood pile. She shuddered as she was carried through an angry crowd. She flinched when the soldiers nailed a man's hands to her. She felt ugly, harsh, cruel. But on Sunday morning, when the sun rose and the earth trembled beneath her, the third tree knew that God's love had changed everything. It had been made, it had been made the first tree beautiful, the second tree strong, and every time people thought of the third tree, they would think of God. That was better than being the tallest tree in the world.